Shout out Luna. Anybody else been getting their energy from the moon? It's 2:28 a.m. and I want to share this short lecture regarding the living resurrection with all of you, soul family, who resonate with these messages, resonate with being a starseed, resonate with having a soul, okay? Because you gotta have a soul to be part of the team, okay? To be part of the dream, okay? So like this message if it resonates, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. All right, soul family. So this is the living resurrection. As defined via Google search, the definition of resurrection is the action or fact of resurrecting, which is the driest definition of a word I've ever seen. However, the example of the word sparked a positive reaction within me. It said, the story of the resurrection of Osiris. I was like, okay, my Google woke. Okay, synonyms for resurrection: raising from the dead, restoration to life, rising from the dead, return from death. This is exactly what it means to have a living reincarnation. By definition, means the rebirth of a soul in a new body. Synonyms for reincarnation: rebirth, transmigration of the soul, metempsychosis, samsara, which I believe it's a connotation for a Hindu word, transanimation. These are all synonyms for reincarnation. So now that we're educated on the definitions, let's get into the magic. When a soul decides to surrender itself or free itself from the binds of the ignorance of its actions or intentions, thought and emotions, that soul is granted the option, because everything in life allows free will. That soul is given the option of initiation. Let me just say, every soul doesn't receive this type of resurrection or rebirth. I'll tell you why before I get deeper into this truth. Most initiates find rebirth to be too painful of a journey and denounce their commitments to the process of initiation because of fear-based energy, telling themselves that their old self, the self most attached to the third dimensional realm, is their true self, and they'd be lost without that comfort of familiarity. Another reason one wouldn't understand or grasp the complexity of this message is because you have to have a soul. Not a spirit, but a soul. The element that is needed for transmigration. Not to say the ones without don't know this truth because they hide this truth. This is why so much hatred is projected towards the chosen few. I would love to see the day all my sisters and brothers as a collective ascended by the masses, but I understand the process of time in which healing requires. There's a lot of trauma in the form of hatred, lust, envy, abandonment, sadness, control, anger, and addictions or attachments that still need to be transmuted or transformed in this age before that type of visible change will occur. Not saying miracles don't happen either. Okay? So back to the topic at hand. When the soul commits to the process of rebirth, I'll use myself as an example. While in my apartment, after going through a lot of dark projected energy, I was directed to repent all of my sins, be humble to the guidance of the Most High, and accept my faults and forgive myself for being lost. Thank you for the opportunity of awareness, I said as I prayed. Then as I rose from my knees, an angel appeared to me. As I looked up to my ceiling, it had wings and its features were formed by light. The angel blew the trumpet. I believe the frequency of the trumpet was higher than mine at that time, but I seen it being blown. This was in the year 2020, which is starting to become a blur like my childhood. I've had several living deaths, each time bringing back small fragments of my higher self. One isn't born with a soul, one is granted a soul. If your heart isn't balanced with thought, you do not pass the test of resurrection. Your spirit is fed to the devourer of souls, Amit, which is an Egyptian deity with the head of a crocodile, torso of a lion, and a body of a hippopotamus. Sounds like a black goddess, don't it? Sorry, y'all, almost got upset, hence the word set. Then I realized, oh yeah, justice and judgment should bring joy upon the faces of the righteous. So it was short-lived. The reason being is a moment of realization. Why black babies were bait to crocodiles and alligators, this symbolizes their awareness of their destiny. An American practice in 1923. Not too long ago, in my opinion. But off that topic. The more I research, the more I see why they have been left behind spiritually. This is why it's so important for our people to transcend these painful memories and use them as fuel to recreate our heaven on our earth, because this is our planet gifted to us by our ancestors. It's time for us to take it back. Don't succumb to the typical stereotypes for people of our color. They want our reaction. They need it. They thrive off it. Nothing brings them more pleasure than seeing a sad, tormented, violent Nigger. I don't want to be flagged. Just a side note, soul family. It's the empowered side of me. Like I was saying, each time one experiences a living death, pieces of your higher self is activated into your physical reality. Before my rebirth, I wasn't aware of intuition. I wasn't aware of my psychic abilities, my telepathic abilities. I had no ideas about what it means to be an empath until that divine spark of enlightenment hit. Don't think that becoming aware is where it ends. No. Then you have to pass life trauma. That's fun. The fears of tapping into your gifts because of you know who hanging and burning us alive. So not only do you heal the present, but also the past, and not your recent past, but your past life as well. Those who practice foul acts against divine beings are still in their original origin. They'll never reincarnate as we. If you're European listening to this, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to apologize for educating my people. Not saying that a European man or woman can't have a black soul, because we do have that ability to reincarnate into any form we please. Before each death requires a test. What are you willing to offer that no longer serves you in the present and in the past? Now the importance of developing your discernment is at play in this aspect, because without proper meditative practice, there's no way to know what karmic cycle we're repeating from a past life unless you see a hypnotherapist or a spiritual practitioner. Your best bet is to start off by observing the characteristics of the people you love and surround yourself. Observe the negative and the positive traits. Since we are reflections of our own reality, we shouldn't judge the very parts of ourselves we see in others, whether these parts have been transcended or not. That's the beauty of rebirth. The level of understanding one gains is priceless. My first 2 deaths felt like actual death. I shed tears until I felt lightheaded. I laid back on my bed and died. Like I felt this level of peace and release. Most would fear this feeling, but from the point of which I came, death was part of my name. When I came back into consciousness, I felt a level of renew, as if I had to be re-downloaded with the memories of where I was and who I truly am. Still, those truths come with time. Reincarnation isn't a rush process. You don't want to undercook the chicken just by placing the heat on high. It's an intercellular process from the inside out. And believe me, you're going to naturally, subconsciously want to fight against rebirth. You're going to naturally want to fight against rebirthing your higher self because of what it entails. How you identify yourself will change, not only for you, but for the people around you. Not only will you fear this change, but the ones around you will too. When you're the light, you force shadows out of hiding. Someone who's been hiding their whole life won't be comfortable around the revealing of your light, especially when you become aware and fully in your power. This is why after rebirth, your soul tribe is only indicative of those with chosen souls, just like you. Before death, I was a reflection of the dead. Now I am a reflection of the light, confidently reclaiming my rebirth rights. Stay whole, soul family. Mwah.